And welcome to the latest installment of New Arrivals at Princeton Record Exchange. It is the last day of May 2016. Today we're featuring a very interesting collection of roughly 600 pieces in three parts: 90s rock, audiophiles, and jazz and blues reissues. We'll start with some of the 90s rock records, many of which we've never seen before, and some which we're happy to see again. I'll start with the great Pink Floyd Pulse 4-record set. I don't think we've ever had this box set in stock. In very good condition, a little bit of wearing on the ends here, but the vinyl is impeccable. I'll start to flip down some of the more rare ones. Tragically Hip, a lot of Springsteen, some great Phish titles. This one's sealed, Story of the Ghost. I don't think we've ever had that in the store before. Farmhouse, open but immaculate condition. We've got some great Pearl Jam issues here. Some imports, some domestic. Guns N' Roses, again, never seen this on vinyl. Pleasure to have it in. Great Rolling Stones, of course. As many of you probably know, the 90s, particularly like 94 to 99, was really the low watermark of vinyl production. Very few of these have been issued, so they're very hard to find. They're pricey. We try to be below market value here. R.E.M playing now. There's just high five. But yeah, they're rare. They're scarce. There's some major label recordings. There's also issues on labels like Simply Vinyl, Sundazed, the Millennium Collection, EMI 100, whoever was making vinyl at the time, which were not many. I don't think we've ever had this many rare 90s pressings in at one time. Some great Springsteen stuff. Again, low watermark, you just don't see these come in. The great Neil Young, Third Eye Blind, Kid Rock. Just a really nice assortment of stuff. It's funny how the major labels just kind of abandoned vinyl at all. Most of these were bought actually mail order by the customer who just got married, downsizing. Happy to get rid of his stuff, and we're happy to have it here. Van Halen, sealed. Yes, even Ricky Martin is a rare record for some folks out there. We're not going to make fun. I like that song. Rage Against the Machine. Some Jewel. Most of these are impeccable. There are a few condition issues. The vinyl itself is almost always immaculate. There was a little touch of water damage on a tiny percentage, so maybe about 10-15 records, particularly the audiophiles, which we'll see in a moment. The covers got damaged. The vinyl is impeccable and all, and of course we've reduced the price respectively on that. So we'll just finish up some of these great 90s pressings and 90s titles and move on to the audiophiles. And continuing on with the audiophiles, we've got a nice assortment of stuff. The usuals: Mobile Fidelity, Nautilus recordings, and of course the audiophiles. By that we mean records that are sought after for their sonic quality as much as their musical performances, although the musical performances are great, as exampled by this Led Zeppelin. A very rare Classic Records pressing reissue, 180 gram, virgin vinyl, really beautiful stuff, don't see a lot. We've got some great Mobile Fidelities. Very rare ones as well. Many of these are sealed, including these R.E.M. and some Sweet Thunder, some more obscure labels. DCC, Downhill Compact Classics, very sought after, very scarce. The Simply Vinyl, we mentioned those before. They're kind of a crossover, this sort of audiophile. A lot of the 80s stuff, 90s stuff, rather, in the last batch came out there. So some are one place, some are the other, but you get the idea. Super Analog, Japanese. Again, there is some water damage. I don't know if you can see it here, but there's a little bit down there. So a few of the records, maybe about 15 or 20, got hit with some water. So we've marked those down, of course. Other Classic Records, the QX version, super vinyl, super quiet, super beautiful recordings, very scarce. A mixture of classical and more rock-oriented stuff here. Man of eclectic taste. We appreciate that. Just flip through a few of those. Maybe about about 80 or so, 80 or 90. Really nice assortment of stuff, kind of across the board, especially the Zeppelins for my taste. Best rock and roll band ever, certified. Okay. Finish up some of those, another DCC, a couple more mobile fidelities, and we'll move on to the jazz. And finally, we'll finish up with about 200 jazz and a little bit of blues reissues. Almost all OJCs. No original pressings here, nothing pricey, but a really fantastic overview of some of the great records ever made in the 60s in jazz land. Miles, Coltrane, Oliver Nelson. You can really build up quite an excellent library very quickly here. Pleasure to see. A lot of these are sealed. Again, the vinyl all mint except for there is a little bit, as I mentioned, of water damage on a few of the titles. But by and large, these did not get hit by any. And as you can see, the great Bill Evans, it is just a really fantastic selection of stuff. Almost all of these in like the $7 to $12 range. Nothing pricey, nothing to break your bank. Again, 90s mostly, 80s and 90s pressing. So the gentleman who bought these records all was solidly in that era, had excellent taste, and we are very happy to be passing along these records and get them back to people who can listen to them and enjoy them all over again. We've been busy in all other aspects. I know it's been a while since the newsletter, but it's been a crazy time for us, but there's definitely product flowing through all over the place. And we'll just finish up here with some of the blues and say that's about it. Thank you for joining us in this latest section of New Arrivals at Princeton Record Exchange. We hope you get a chance to visit us soon.